Hi and welcome to the last part of this full stack tutorial where in a series of smaller videos we will be coding along and actually building a full stack application that manages users, does the registering, does the login system, and actually keeps them logged in our front end, which is the exact step for today. So step 7, we're going to be implementing checks by using the session storage to store our users instead of cookies and sessions like mentioned before. So what functionality do we need to add? We need to store the user object in session storage after a successful login. So that means as long as a browser is live in the session storage, there's going to be a user object so that we can do a check to make sure that it's logged in. So let's do that first. The second step would be to implement an extra script to check that user's session storage to see if the user is there. If the user is there, you can continue on that page. If it's not there, we redirect you to the login page. All right, let's get to work. I am in login.js. Again, my API is running. We don't need to be looking at the terminal for now. If I am logged in successfully, I need to save it in session storage. So what we're going to do is instead of console log the data, we're going to save it in session storage. So session storage dot, I think it's set item. Yes, set item, and we're going to call it user. And which object are we storing? We are storing the complete data. I don't know. I forgot what we passed along, but maybe we need to still update something in our backend. But we will update that in a second. Let's see what we get here now. So I'm going to test this directly in our live server. I'm going to open the documentation here. It's in, I think it's memory. No, not memory. Application. Yes. So in application, in Firefox or Chrome or Edge, you will have something called local storage, session storage. So at the moment, I don't think there is something. Is first time logged from. We don't need that. Okay, so this should be empty. If I let me check the user that Harry dot no, at hogwarts.co.uk. Password, I think it's test1234. Et voila. User. Oh, object. That's not good. Because of course, this only saves strings. So you know what? Let's fix that. JSON.stringify data. Save. Delete these and try it again. Harry, I'm going to be copy pasting it because otherwise constantly typing it. UK. Password test1234. Try the login. Aha. Status, authentication successful. Okay, we're nothing with this. So we have to adjust our login route to actually pass along some data of the actual user. Now we already done that for verify ID. So you know what? Let's switch back to our backend for a second. Let's go to the login part. And here you are logged in. We just need to pass along more data. So again, data, and then pass along in the data. I think I have it in the other route, verify one. Voila. We've already done it. So now we're going to be passing along the username. So again, I'm in the login route. If everything is okay, then if it's correct, then we send back the username, email, and UUID. Perfect. And it's in the data field. So let's go to the login. We're not going to be saving the whole object, but we're going to be data.data. Save. It's kind of, I'm just going to do results here because otherwise it might be confusing for some people. So the result of the fetch recall, we're going to add data to the session storage. Let's try it again. Oh. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. That's perfect. Harry P, UUID. So we are now logged in. Perfect. Now, the problem is that, okay, we're going to the home page. We still have the user. Going to the register page, we still have the user. But the moment I close this tab, I'm going to close it actually, and then open a new one, a new page, my session storage is empty again. So it's working as intended. You can do it longer by doing it in local storage, because things in local storage stay there for even when the browser closes. That is up to you. I would recommend session storage, but for testing, you can do local storage so you can keep being logged in. We will verify. We will do something cool at the end. Let's first do the second part of the exercise, which means we're going to be adding a check. So again, moving to our page, we have register, login, 2 pages that you should be able to visit even if you're not logged in. But then you have a home page. Let's go to there. And I'm now on the home page. There's nothing here, of course, it's a basic page, but you should not be, in my case, you should not be able to get to the home page if you're not logged in. So now we should check if the session storage is there. If it is there, it should say, hello, Harry, or hello, Mike, or whoever is logged in. Let's try and do that now. I'm going to create a new file called auth.js, for example. And we're going to make a check. That check is going to be imported here at the top. That means that the moment the page is loaded, it's going to execute that check. So auth.js in my case. In auth.js, I'm going to check if the user is present. Check the session storage. So let's user. This is going to be a very simple check, and you can keep iterating on this. But again, it should show you the idea of it. So what this needs to do is check if the user is there and redirect to the login page if it is not. And otherwise, do some basic stuff like setting variables so we can load in the navigation bar, for example. So let user is session storage dot get item. We're going to be getting the user item. And let me check the home page. What do we have here? We have navigation. Let's do I'm gonna add a P because the welcome message, then I can fill in the welcome message with my name. It will look like nothing at the moment, but I will fill it in if the user is there. So if there is a user, I can say document.get element by ID, in my case, welcome message, dot inner text, and I'm going to set it to user dot username, or more specifically, welcome. Welcome. So I'm going to welcome Harry in this case. You know what? Let's try that for now. We're not redirecting yet, but, or, you know, no, let's continue. Else, if the user is not there, it's a very simple trick actually. And I've already prepared it here. We are going to a different place. You're gonna use the window location href. So you're gonna set the location of the window to a different login. So this is gonna be a bit tricky on where you are programming. At the moment, I am programming inside a live server environment, the front end with the login.html. The check. You need to try out some different routes. So login.html will not work. Frontend will work because the live server sees this whole folder as its root. So depending on your setup, you need to adjust this a little bit. But let's try it out. So no session storage. If I go to home, I immediately get turned back. So in best case, you can add a message like, hey, you're not logged in, something like that. But I cannot go to the home page because I'm not logged in. Harry is a valid user. So if I do login, the user is saved. If I go to home, I will get, apparently I will not get the welcome message. Let me check if there's something wrong. Oh yeah, cannot set properties. It's because the auth is triggered before the page has been loaded. So the HTML page. So I will, let me check. I will need to make a small adjustment and add defer into this. And then it should work. Welcome undefined. That's also a very basic problem because I did not parse it. I have a string which is not usable, so I need to, let me check, JSON.parse, JSON.parse, and then the user save. Welcome Harry P. Now it works. So again, I can go to the register, I can go to login, and I can go to the home page. Now, if I go to the register page and I delete the session storage and I go to the home page, I'm redirected to the login page. Again, this is a very basic method. You can keep iterating on this. But a couple things I would suggest is to actually set a message to it. If you have a page with a navigation bar and you have your username on the top right, for example, let's see, for example, here's my picture. That picture is set because I am logged into Canvas. This is only set because it notices that I'm logged in. So in this file, you can do some basic stuff, as in sets navigation data, fill in username, all those things. Load in user specific data like favorites of something, favorites, pictures, etc. So this is a very easy way of having a login system work for you without too many specific complex material. Now, if you want other pages to have the same authentication check, you can just include the auth.js file inside that HTML page, and then automatically each time this will be loaded in. So I hope you learned something. I hope you have a working full stack login system. I wish you lots of luck with your course project, and I will see you in the next videos.